Hello, my name is Ivan Trudnikov, and since the whole first year in Fontys is about communication, I decided that I'm gonna make a video and show my communication skills. With this video, I'm also gonna try to close the whole LO1 of Module 3. I'm gonna split it up to two different parts. The first one is gonna be about theory and how I understand it. The second part is going to be about my work with this theory and with my patients. Those are time codes. Enjoy. Let's start with Erik Erikson's theory of personality development. In this theory, he identified 8 stages of development that we usually meet in our life during the specific age. Here you can see the list of all these stages, but it doesn't mean that each person in his 13th is gonna be on adolescence stage, because everyone is individual and need a different approach. But it's more likely for him to be on this specific stage and be in process of learning himself and ask questions as who am I and what I'm gonna do. We ask those questions because of the basic conflict of finding identity and role confusion. But what does this conflict means? And how can we solve it? On each stage, we meet different conflicts, different ways to solve it, and of course, different results and consequences. We can name this process socio-emotional and mental development. And actually, that's the main point of splitting our life into stages. But let's go back to our example. During adolescent stage, you're trying to find your place in life. You can do it with making social relationships. As a result, you're gonna learn fidelity, gonna know your place in life and society. But on the other hand, you may become confused and disappointed about your place in life if you were closed or found not the best company during this stage. That's basically how life stages works. You ask questions and try to solve your internal conflicts. And the way you did it is gonna affect on you, your socio-emotional and mental development, and on your life in general. We know already that for us as a physiotherapists, the most useful tool is communication. With right communication, you may earn patients' trust, find out more important information, and just make a better dialogue that is going to help you to work. Thanks to Vincent Kortleve for analyzing and splitting our communication into 4 roles that help us with different tasks. Let's take a look at each of them. As a confidant, you're going to show your ability to listen, respect, and accept person's minuses to earn their trust. As a coach, you're gonna support your patients, share your own experience, motivate, and help them grow. As a teacher, show your clarity, but also patience. You may have to explain something more than once and with different words. And as a detective, you're gonna analyze the whole information, find out the actual problem, and solve the case. Now, when we know and understand the theory, we may move on to the practice. And I won't tell you how fantastic my intake was, but will tell you more about communication and theory usage. But in the beginning, it's also important to mention that my older patient is Tatiana, 68 years old woman who has lower back pain during the specific movements that we're going to work on. Movements such as bend over and squat. And my younger patient is Maria, 9 years old girl who wants to learn how to do the fold again. Tatiana has skill of reflection and deep analyzation. She is aware of and accepts her age, but continues to live a full life and take care of her health. It's also important to mention that she is a grandmother already. All these qualities and data help me to correlate her with an 8th stage of development, in which the conflict between integrity and despair prevails, and her main question to herself is gonna be, did I have a meaningful life? I also allowed something that I couldn't allow during the intake with Maria. After a brief explanation, I asked her directly about her life stage and psychosocial development, and she almost completely had my own thoughts. Working with a person like that, it's important to gain respect and trust in your professionalism. However, despite this trust, you have to know that mostly you're gonna be in a position of a listener. The interview with her lasted about 30 minutes. It was important for me not only to obtain information, but to win her over. This is where the confident role came in handy. You let the person speak out and listen carefully to every word. So after the story, you can latch out certain words, showing that you're truly listening, and lead the conversation into the direction you need. Now, in general, be patient. A lot of people, and especially old people, like to talk. A lot. Don't try to show that you know something better. It may be rude and embarrassing when some young guy is telling you what to do. Instead, you may help and guide them to the right thoughts and conclusions, or just work together with them. Don't forget, they lived a long life and have a lot of experience and knowledge. You can use it, it's free. Be a confidant and a coach more than a teacher and detective. But still remember that you have those roles, so you can use them if you need it. I have to mention that that was our first try to make an intake with Maria, so there is a reason why she may look tired or irritated. But even though you may understand that Maria is always smiling and laughing child, she's active, funny, kind, and very smart, does a lot of sport, has many hobbies, and learned at least 2 languages. Why? In my opinion, Maria is a great example of school age stage. She's worried if she's good or bad, and at this point of her life, she thinks that the only way to be good is making her family happy. She wants them to be proud of her. So, how should I work with it? Well, at first, I explained to her that it's okay to say no. I don't want to manipulate her. I want her to actually be interested in what we're doing. After that, I explained what exactly we are going to do, and sometimes I was even helping her to express her own thoughts because she was tired and it's a kid. But it's important to mention when you help or correct, do it in a friendly way, showing that it's okay to make mistakes. You're still confident even if you speak more than listen. Use teacher and a coach role to explain and help understand. But don't overuse them. It's not a lesson and you don't want to sound and look boring, right? Also, be ready to be a detective. Mostly in those cases, you're gonna work alone and use only your knowledge and skills. In the end, I would like to say that if you're not that good in adaptation and communication, kindness, patience, and respect always work with every person. And the best way to learn how to use them is using them not only during work, but in your life in general.